aboard the Metro Streetcar. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll loop the lines about 40 minutes, or you can get off at any of the 12 stops. We have 6 stops here in North Little Rock and 6 stops over in Little Rock. Let me know if you have any questions. Now gotten on to 7th Street, mural pass to the right depicts the largest pedestrian bridge in North America. It crosses over the Murray Lock and Dam about 8 miles west of here. You can hike to it along the riverfront trail, or drive to it simply at Murray Park. Getting into the Argenta Historic Housing District. A lot of buildings, especially along the right side out here, are historic. Many of them around 100 years old. Coming up to the 6th and Maple stop. 6th and Maple here is our first stop in the Historic Housing District. 6th and Maple. Departing 6th and Maple. 6th and Maple. The old church building passing to the right is a historic building built 1920. Currently unused. Would be nice to see it restored. Buildings passing to the right here are also historic, built around 1910, 1920. One directly to the right is a church building as well, built in the 1920s. The orange roof building off to the left is Flyway Brewery, our most successful microbreweries here in North Little Rock. Was featured on Diners, Drives, and Dives with Guy Fieri. Now dropping down to Maple and Broadway. Maple and Broadway here is the main stop for the old Dickie Stevens Baseball Stadium. Maple and Broadway stop. Departing Maple and Broadway. Broadway. The ticking sound you're hearing is the preempter. It allows me to run red lights for your safety. Seeing as I'm about to make an illegal left-hand turn from the right lane, the trolley is simply too large to make these turns legally. So we have a preemption device to turn all the stoplights red. See a little white light there directly in front of me turn on, just like that. Now safe to proceed. The streetcar is around 50 feet long, weighs around 60,000 pounds. So it is a rather large vehicle to be negotiating the roads. It is a train, for all intents and purposes, running on steel wheels on standard gauge, 1,435 millimeter standard gauge track. Big white building with the blue awnings off to the left is North Little Rock City Hall, built to look somewhat similar to a St. Louis bank. However, it was built with a special foundation. Notice the pillars don't go all the way to the ground. The blocky foundation there was built to resist flooding, as North Little Rock here used to flood quite a bit in the early days. The City Hall there was built around 1900. The North Little Rock flood wall that was built here, further down toward the river to stop the flooding, I think was built around 1949. Back onto Main Street, North Little Rock. Drop it down to Simmons Arena. Simmons Arena here will be our last call for North Little Rock before we cross the river over to the city of Little Rock. Simmons Arena stop.
Good morning, welcome aboard.
Good morning, Cub. How you doing now?
Doing good.
I am too, Cub. That's good, my friend. I gotta take a break now.
Departing Simmons Arena, headed for the city of Little Rock.
Southbound.
Construction going on off the left is a new conference hall. It was originally the City Service Center. We tore down the City Service Center a couple months back there left, turning it into a conference hall. The red brick buildings passing the left there are also historic. They were built in the early days in North Little Rock. They used to run all the way up Main Street here up toward Broadway. Now the little brick ones there left are all that remain. Now leaving the city of North Little Rock, headed for the city of Little Rock. This here is the steepest part of our line. This is about a 16% grade. Most railroads don't exceed a 2% grade, but the streetcar can handle it just fine. Car is purely electric. We are running off 650 volts DC. Power is pulled from the overhead catenary wire you see running out above us. Power is pulled through the car into the 4 electric motors. Each electric motor puts out around 50-55 horsepower. Geared for torque gives us plenty enough strength to make the grade. We're now crossing over the Arkansas River. Arkansas River, around 60 feet below us. The river starts at the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, flows into the Mississippi. It's about 1,500 miles long. There's a total of 6 bridges between Little Rock and North Little Rock. The bridge we're on right now is the Main Street Bridge. Off to our left is the Junction Bridge. The Junction Bridge there left was originally built as a railroad bridge in 1900. Turned into a pedestrian bridge in 2008. Nowadays you can't walk between Little Rock and North Little Rock on said bridge to the left.
Bridge.
Now dropping down into the city of Little Rock. This is the capital city of Arkansas. Population a little over 200,000. Down to our left, currently crossing over Riverfront Park. Most major parks of Little Rock have a 17-mile hiking trail, sculpture garden, playground, and amphitheater. Now dropping down into the city of Little Rock, our first stop here will be at the base of the bridge at Markham and Scott. Then head left and down into the River Market. Markham and Scott stop. Welcome to Little Rock. Once we get our signal there, we'll head left and down into the River Market. Markham and Scott headed into the market. Departing Markham Scott. Iriana's Pizza passed to the right. It's one of the best pizza places down here, a little locally owned place. Now dropping into the River Market. It's the main food and entertainment district for Little Rock. Several restaurants either side of the track all the way down through here. Now this area was originally a freight district, started in the mid-1800s. The Rock Island Railroad used to run in an alleyway down to our right, servicing this whole area. Many of the buildings on the right side were originally warehouses and factories. Rock Island Railroad went bankrupt in 1979. A lot of businesses went with the railroad. In 1996, this area was turned into the River Market District it is today. All the restaurants and whatnot started down here in 1996. In 2004, this area received a major facelift with the addition of the trolley and several other things. Now they give me a maximum track speed of about 3 miles an hour down here in the River Market. Blazing top speed 3 miles an hour, so I don't take souvenirs off other people's cars. Parking here to the right gets very tight. If I could move us an inch to the left, I would, but unfortunately we are a train, so I cannot steer. Corner past to the right is the Bobby Roberts Library, currently acting as our main library. And all the big old murals on the side of the building there to the left, that little building on the left is the Oppenheimer Hall. The Oppenheimer Hall there to the left is some of the best food you can get in the River Market, a bunch of little stalls inside that building there to the left, having food from all over the world, though it's only open from about 10 to 2 on weekdays. Past to the right, Kilwin's Homemade Ice Cream, definitely the sweetest place here in the market. Homemade candies, fudge, ice cream, that kind of thing. And past to the right is Cash Restaurant, or Cache, one of the fanciest restaurants here in the market, though I often say if you want to go to Cash, better have the cash to go. Rather expensive, but you get what you pay for. Now coming up to the River Market stop. This is the main stop for the River Market, Museum of Discovery, Clinton Center, and Ron Robinson Theater. So as far east as the streetcar goes. River Market. Departing River Market. River Market. Count Lasky alleyway passing to the right. used to be where the Rock Island Railroad used to run. Tracks ran down there till 1979 when the railroad went bankrupt, and throughout the 80s the tracks were largely scrapped. Coming down to 2nd Street, we'll head right here onto 2nd Street. Track out in front of us is the Green Line, or also known as the Blue Line Extension. The extension out in front of us there used to go out to 3rd Street, next street up off to the left, down to the Clinton Presidential Library. The Green Line there in front of us is currently out of service, will remain out of service till they finish construction on Interstate 30. To work on Interstate 30, they took out about 200 feet of our track, as well as all the overhead wires there off the Green Line extension. So we can't go back out on that track there until they put our track back. 200-foot section they tore out. Could be at least the end of this year, maybe later, before we have that section of track back. Now running up 2nd Street. Construction going on here to the right is the Central Library. They're currently rebuilding a large section of the library here to the right. Cost them around $20 million to redo the library here. Should be real nice by the time they're done with it though. Now rolling past the 2nd and Rock stop. 2nd and Rock stop used to be right here to our right, though it's currently out of service whilst they're working on the library. They're largely modernizing the library here to the right, adding several other additions to make the building more modern. Hoping to have it done by the end of this year, but we'll see how that goes. They've got a long ways to go. Next block in front of us here is the Historic Arkansas Museum. Sometimes referred to simply as HAM. The Historic Arkansas Museum here in front of us is, well, the main galleries are free. It costs about $2.50 to go through all the buildings out here. Buildings off to your left there, the red brick and buildings, whatnot there left, are largely original to this location. I believe some of them are replicas, though most of them are original, having been built here all the way back in the 1820s. Log cabin off to the right there. Walk off to the right. Log cabin there is a dog trot style cabin built 1800 out in Scott, Arkansas. Cabin there to the right was part of the homestead out in Scott, Arkansas from 1800 until 1970. 1970. Cabin was deemed historically significant, picked up from Scott and moved here. I believe they disassembled it log by log, moved it here, and reassembled it on site here at the Historic Arkansas Museum. Alright. Main Historic Arkansas Museum is the red brick and white building off to the left. They're open every day except Monday from around 9 to 5 and reduced hours on Sunday. Second and Scott stop.
Bye, friend. Bye, you have a good day.
We will be delayed here at the 2nd and Scott stop for several minutes, well, about 5 minutes or so, waiting on the other trolley. The bridge between Little Rock and North Little Rock is only a single track, so only one train can occupy the bridge at a time, so we gotta wait for the other trolley to come back from North Little Rock before we can leave here.
And that's our call to go. But, yeah, if I leave here too early, we'll just slam head on into the other trolley on the bridge. And it's generally not good for things when you run trolleys into each other at max speed.
Departing second Scott. Though the bridge is limited to 8 miles an hour, you run two of these things into each other at 8 miles an hour, probably wouldn't be all that exciting. They're pretty solid, but still we'd rather not try. Now coming up to Main Street, Little Rock. Main Street, Little Rock is one of the only places where the original trolley line still remains. Passing in front of us there below, you can see some of the original tracks still in Main Street. Most of the original trolley line was scrapped in 1947. But Main Street tracks remain, they simply paved over the top of them. Departing second Scott. Now, Little Rock's original streetcar line started in 1877, ran from 1877 until 1947. As I mentioned, they scrapped the whole thing in 1947. Pretty much all the tracks and original cars were all pretty much scrapped in 1947, 1948. So all the tracks we're running on today were all relayed in 2004. And our cars were built between 2002 and 2005. This here is Streetcar 412. This is our newest car. This one was completed in 2005. As mentioned earlier, all 5 of our cars are replicas of 1920s era Bernie safety cars. Up to second and center.
409,
Second and center stop here is as far west as the streetcar goes. Departing second and center. Big old building here to the right is the Federal Bankruptcy Courthouse. It was built around 1895. Originally built as a general courthouse and post office. Served as our general courthouse here in Little Rock for many years. Then it was turned into the bankruptcy courthouse it is today. Now serving all the federal court needs here in Little Rock. Once we get our signal here, we'll head right onto Spring Street, down toward Markham. Big old building passing in front of us there with the red trimming on it. Now passing to the left, that building was the first Pulaski County Courthouse. It was built around 1897. As much as it looks kind of like a castle, it is in fact a courthouse, always has been. And the white building passing to the left is the second Pulaski County Courthouse, built in 1917. Both the two courthouses there on the left are still used to this day. Down off to the left across Markham, building with big old pillars off to the left is the Robinson Auditorium, home of the Arkansas Symphony, our local performing arts group. The Robinson Auditorium was built in 1939 by the Workmen's Progress Association during the later days of the Great Depression. Coming up to Markham and Spring. Markham and Spring here, with the main stop for Robinson Auditorium and the old steakhouse. Markham and Spring. Departing Markham and Spring. The old steakhouse, big white building off to the left. The old steakhouse there left is the original capital of Arkansas. It was built around 1822, served as Arkansas's capital from 1836 till around 1890. Sat disused for a while and then was turned into a museum. Nowadays, the old steakhouse there left is a free museum speaking on the political history of Arkansas. It is one of 2 Confederate-style steakhouses left in the U.S., I believe. Passing to the right is the Capitol Hotel, one of our fanciest hotels here in Little Rock, built 1877.
Our coming spring.
Capitol Hotel there to the right is one of relatively few iron-faced buildings in the area. The whole front end of Capitol Hotel there to the right is entirely made of cast iron. Same stuff your cooking skillet is made out of. White glass building passing the left is the convention center, hosting most of our major events here in Little Rock. And we're now dropping down to Markham and Scott. Markham and Scott here. We are second to last stop before we cross the river north back toward North Little Rock. Markham and Scott stop.
Alright.
Does this go all the way down, like to the Clinton Library and back around?
It does not. The Clinton Library line is out of service, so
Okay, well, how long does it take you to ride around?
full loop is about 40 minutes. I'm going to North Little Rock.
That's excellent.
We'll go to North Little Rock, come on back. We'll bring you back here after about 40 minutes.
That's excellent, thank you. What is supposed to be do?
It's free.
Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard.
Which side's better to sit on?
We're going to turn left, so probably the right side, because we'll cross over the river, so we get a good view of the river sitting on the right side.
Perfect. Here, you want to hold on there?
See our other car there off to the left. Have to wait for 409 there to clear the bridge before we can head up on the bridge, as the bridge there to the left is single track, so only one train can occupy the bridge at a time, or one streetcar in this case. 409 there left is one of our older cars, with an original 1920s Italian control stand inside, 8-notch control. Departing Markham Scott.
10-4 on the bridge. Markham Scott heading north.
We run 2 of these streetcars every day. It gives us approximately every 20-minute service at every stop. Now, the Asian gate off to our left there was built to honor Master H.U. Lee. Master H.U. Lee was a Korean martial artist who started the American Taekwondo Association. Master H.U. Lee emigrated from Korea here to Little Rock. When he moved here, he found the martial arts abilities of Central Arkansas to be lacking, so he started the American Taekwondo Association, now one of the most major martial arts associations in the United States. He died of cancer in the year 2000. They built that gate there to the left to honor him behind the gate's large garden. Speaking on the history of martial arts here in Little Rock and Master H.U. Lee. Now coming up to Markham Scott North, this will be our last call before we cross the river north for North Little Rock.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Heading somewhere particular today? Alrighty. Well, we are crossing to North Little Rock. The full loop's about 40 minutes.
Departing Markham and Scott, headed north for North Little Rock.
Northbound on the bridge.
Now city of Little Rock headed for the city of North Little Rock. Little Rock and North Little Rock were at one time the same city, but they split in 1910 into two entirely separate cities. As the story goes, Little Rock and North Little Rock did not like each other very much, hence the reason for the split. Now crossing back over the Arkansas River, about 60 feet up from the river here, currently crossing over the navigation channel. Large sections, this part of the Arkansas River, were dredged out to make space for larger ships. Mostly we just see tugboats and barges on the river, but it is possible to float a ship from the ocean all the way here to central Arkansas. Proof of concept of that is down to the right, the Arkansas Inland Maritime Museum. The Maritime Museum down to the right hosts two World War II era vessels. The submarine down there to the right is the USS Razorback, built in 1942, the U.S. Navy. The submarine down there served Navy from 42 until 1970, and it was sold to the country of Turkey. Turkey used the sub down there to the right for around 30 years before they sold it back here as a museum ship. Nowadays, you can tour the submarine down there on the right every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The other ship down there is the USS Hoga. The tugboat Hoga was present at the December 7th, 1941 invasion of Pearl Harbor. The tugboat was built in 1940. There's also a large gray sculpture down to the right with square lamps on it, known as the Beacon of Peace and Hope, dedicated 2011, with a small garden beneath it. It's in the corner of the Arkansas flood wall. Speaking of the flood wall, it's a big old wall running along down there to the right. This big old building passing to the right here is also a pump house, I believe, for the flood wall. Completed around 1949, I believe, to resist North Little Rock from flooding so much. Sound is a dynamic brake. This control stand in this trolley is modern enough to be equipped with dynamic braking, or as they call it, regenerative braking. Feeds electricity back into the wire. Back to the city of North Little Rock. Our first stop here will be the Simmons Arena, and continue north to 5th and 7th. Coming up to Simmons Arena. Simmons Arena stop.
Hello, welcome aboard.
Departing Simmons Arena, headed north for downtown North Little Rock and Argenta. Simmons, northbound. Simmons Arena, the big old building off to the right. I believe originally built as a hockey arena, now hosts all general events here in North Little Rock. They just hosted Disney on Ice the past couple of days. There are several historic buildings running up Main Street, North Little Rock here in front of us, many of them built between 1880 and 1920. Line here 2004. You move the tracks to the right side, making boarding and alighting safer. Several restaurants up through here, past the left Blackberry Market, your healthier sandwich option. To the right, Skinny J's. Despite its name, Skinny J's, passing there to the right, has everything that will not make you skinny. Now we're going up to the 5th and Main stop. 5th and Main here is main stop for downtown Argenta, the old Argenta Library. 5th and Main stop. Departing 5th and Main, headed north.
Hello? Oh, she wants to talk.
Oh. Sorry, didn't hear you back there. Have a good day.
Departing 5th and Main, headed north. This area was originally known as Argenta. Argenta simply means silver in Latin, as that was North Little Rock's original name. North Little Rock here was originally a silver mining town. Used to be a silver mine just north of here. So when they first started North Little Rock, they simply named it Silver, the town. The name only lasted around 7 years before they changed it to North Little Rock. The historic district up here keeps the name Argenta. Now crossing over 6th Street, tracks off to the right lead to the Streetcar bar. Next stop will be Main and Bishop Lindsay. Got a speed restriction here, crossing over the yard tracks. They don't want me bouncing the car too much on the yard switches. Now we're coming up to Main and Bishop Lindsay, also known as Main and 7th. This is as far north as the streetcar goes before we start making our way back to the city of Little Rock. Main and Bishop Lindsay.